Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Thursday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers were back in action on yesterday, taking on none other than the Phoenix Suns. They were on the third game of this 5-game homestand, and a must-win game for the Los Angeles Lakers as they push for playoff contention and, dare I say, championship contention, baby, because we all know that a one LeBron James right now is currently being reevaluated and will be hopefully available soon and start to ramp up. And he is eyeing, I think, that first week of April to come back. So maybe another week to get ramped back up and to get into basketball shape in order to come back and be effective for the Los Angeles Lakers. But we got a lot we want to discuss. But the first thing I want to point out about yesterday's victory for the Lakers, who end up prevailing in that game 122-111, is none other than Austin Reeves. But I think we got balls to go around for everybody, not just one game ball, but we're going to have a couple more as I continue to discuss all the people who contributed to that victory on yesterday. But first, I just want to touch on heel Billy Kobe, because we saw what he was able to do. And I don't know where everybody who's tuned in right now, listening under the sound of my voice, knows that I have been saying in several episodes to start Austin Reeves in place of Malik Beasley. And on yesterday, finally, Malik Beasley was taken out of the starting lineup and replaced by Austin Reeves. And it's so funny because I was watching a press conference the other day of Darvin Ham, and I was just kind of getting some notes together of what I was going to talk about, on one of these episodes of the show. And my grandson happened to be coming by, and he looked at it and he said, "That's you, Pawpaw." And I said, "Oh man, just because he light-skinned and bald-headed does not mean he is me, because I could never make the same decisions as a Darvin Ham." But I thought I'd throw that in there because I thought that was quite funny. But maybe I became him for a minute, because I am the one who's been saying, go ahead and get Austin Reeves into that starting lineup. I've been a proponent of it for quite some time, even when the team was struggling early on before they made the trades and acquired all these new deadly weapons that they have. I have been saying that for quite some time. And finally, it has come to fruition. And I've been saying that because Austin Reeves has he's just a ball player. He's a straight up hooper, because when he's playing on the defense, he fights through the screens. He fights through the pick and roll. He stays glued to his man. He causes contacts. He draws fouls. As far as when he's on the offensive end, continuously getting to the free throw line. But on the defensive end, he takes charges, causes turnovers, forces turnovers, and plays pretty good defense, being the young player that he is. And we saw what he did against the Orlando Magic on the other day. Had a career high 35 points, but had I think it was 16 or 17 free throws in that game. Well, he picked up where he left off on yesterday, and he had 13 free throw attempts, to where he made 12 out of 13 of those free throw attempts. That put him at 92% from the line, and he's come very close to having a 50-40-90 season. But the free throws as of late kind of took him down a little bit, and I think he's down to only 38% from the three-point line right now. So he was getting close to it, but who knows? He took one three-pointer on yesterday. He was 1 for 1. That put him at 100%. So, hey, he's trying to creep back up there for the season. But, man, he had a career-high 11 assists, and we're not even going to talk about the garbage time that he threw to Vandy, because they were still pressuring Austin Reeves, and he made the right basketball decision in doing that. But he had plays to D'Angelo Russell, and we'll talk about D'Lo in just a minute. But when you have Austin Reeves on the floor with D'Angelo Russell, that takes some of the ball handling pressures off D'Lo, and that can make him a spot-up shooter at times, because we saw what D'Lo was able to do on yesterday. Shot 50% from three, yet again shooting 3 out of 6 from 3 out of 6 from 3, which put him at 50%. He was a plus 13 for the game. D'Angelo Russell with 26 points, 1 rebound, and 6 assists. We already know that is a major contribution. And you talk about a big three, minus that of LeBron James and Anthony Davis as well, because Anthony Davis hit you with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in his own right. He was 10 out of 18 from the field, 56%. He didn't take any three-point attempts yesterday, so that is a good thing. That is something that we don't want Anthony Davis to do. We want him down on that block. And, of course, we'll talk about him getting down on that block here in just a moment, because I'll tell you what Darvin Ham said after the game, and you probably already seen it. But basically, Darvin Ham said, because of this dumbass coach, they was like, why was Anthony Davis not getting involved in the first half as much as he should have been? And Anthony Davis was catching the ball a lot up near the three-point line instead of down on the post. And then he looked and saw who was across from him, and he said, you know what? I can take him man to man easily. If they want to come double, we'll make the right play, because now the Lakers have shooters who are more than capable of hitting three-point shots. Before the trade deadline, when the Lakers used to shoot threes, I would hold my breath. And we all know for the first month and a half, 2 of the season, the Lakers was dead last in three-point shooting an abysmal 28 or 29% or something like that from three. It was under 30%. But now that Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook have departed, the Lakers have a true backcourt now, and I want Austin Reeves to be an integral part of that. He only making $1.5 million this year. We know he's going to get more than a mid-level exception next year, and the Lakers need to do whatever they need to do to keep Austin Reeves. But back to what I was saying. Because of Austin Reeves, when he's doing that pick and roll with Anthony Davis, he's not always necessarily looking to shoot. If they playing drop coverage, then he will take the shot. But if they're blitzing on Anthony Davis, he knows how to make the perfect pocket pass or oop to Anthony Davis to where he can finish towards the rim and get him involved. D'Lo does that great as well. So now you have 2 guards who can both handle the ball and take those ball handling responsibilities off each other, but they can also be able to knock down open threes. And like I said, between both of them, that was 4 3-pointers from the backcourt. We'll take that all day, every day, any damn day for the Los Angeles Lakers. And let me tell you something else. Who else I need to talk about is somebody who never less than a Vando. Is that none other than Jared Vando in Vanderbilt, one of the other favorites that has become one of my favorite players for the Los Angeles Lakers because of the grit and grind that he plays with. I mean, he is constantly at it, and he wanted to guard Devin Booker on yesterday, and for the most part shut him down. But if you look at the stat line, you would think that Devin Booker was the one who was really doing something with over 30 points. But a lot of those points came after the bogus foul that they called on Vanderbilt. They got challenged and somehow was a successful challenge by the Phoenix Suns, even though we saw that Devin Booker pushed off on Vanderbilt, but they said the contact was low. I don't understand it. Just like the Wayne and Gabriel call the other day, I believe in the Dallas game against Kyrie, that was kind of detrimental as well. I don't understand that, but at the end of the day, the Lakers persevered. And if you really stop to think about it, the Lakers almost kind of gave that game away at one point. That stretch between the third and the fourth quarter, and that stretch after the second quarter. I really want to emphasize that the Lakers need to finish quarters better, because what they haven't been doing is finishing the quarter strong and letting teams go on semi-runs. At the end of the second quarter, the Suns hit a shot. The Lakers had exactly 25 seconds on the shot clock. That means you should have, if you got 25 seconds on the shot clock, you should get the last shot of the quarter. It's plain and simple. But I have to get that one on Austin Reeves, or you can put it on AD. Austin Reeves AD came and set the pick, but he did it with like 12 seconds on the clock. That is way too much time if you plan on rolling to the basket and completing the pick and roll play, whether you're going to pick and pop, pick and roll, and Austin pulls up for the shot, or Davis stays back and pick and pop, or however you do it, it still left way too much time on the clock. So they missed on the pick and roll. Austin Reeves, I think, pulled up for the shot. It was missed. Phoenix got out in transition and was able to get another basket, thus ending the last 30 or 40 seconds of the half on a 4-0 run, whereas it shouldn't have been that way. For the Los Angeles Lakers, they need to be more conscientious on how they end the quarters, and especially going into the third and fourth quarter. They had a 9-point lead with like 20 or 30 seconds left. Of course, they give up the three. Once they give up the three, that cut it from 9 to 6. Once it goes down to 6, Wayne and Gabriel takes the ball and lies it on the ground. And when he lies it on the ground to try to run up clock, I think it was Cam Payne who noticed that, dove for the ball, saved it, kicked it up to Booker. Booker ended up getting a layup and one plus the foul. So that really made it a great opportunity for the Phoenix Suns to cut that lead from 9-3. And then I said, oh man, here we go again. Because I remember one play earlier in the season, I think Westbrook did something similar to that at the end of the quarter, just kind of threw it away, gave the other team life, and lo and behold, the team came back and rallied in the fourth quarter and won when the Lakers had a sizable lead. So that is something that the Lakers need to be sure of, and Darvin Ham needs to make them fully aware how important it is to close out quarters in the NBA, because you don't want to give other teams life. But what I do want to point out is the Los Angeles Lakers pretty much had control of that game for the entire game. Now, I know you'll say, well, they're without Aiden, and I know you'll say they're without Durant. It is what it is, but guess what? The Lakers are without LeBron James. And how much of a difference do you think that'll make? And something else I want to kind of talk about too is when LeBron James returns to the lineup, what do you all think the starting lineup should be? Me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards keeping Vando in there if Austin Reeves is going to be the starter, because you can have D'Lo, then you could have Austin Reeves at the 2, then you could have LeBron/Vanderbilt at the 3 or 4, and AD at the 5. And by doing that, you're going to have Austin Reeves, who's capable of shooting threes. You're going to have D'Angelo Russell, capable of shooting threes. Both are good ball handlers. Both are good decision makers. Both are good shooters. And then you add LeBron James to the mix, who can do that. And I know a lot of people are out here saying, well, do you really want LeBron James and Austin Reeves on the floor together? Because that's going to take away from some of the things that Austin Reeves does. Man, y'all better go back and look what Austin Reeves and LeBron James plus minus is on the floor since they've been together. They have great chemistry every time they get in a fast break. And that's something I'm going to tell you right now. The Lakers haven't been nearly as much showtime without LeBron James, if you haven't noticed. They was damn near leading the league in fast break points. They fell to more the middle of the pack since his departure. But when LeBron James comes back, definitely have Austin Reeves in there. And then you can still keep Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt is going to play great defense. And I'm sorry I kind of got off track, but what I was alluding to earlier was when they called that bogus foul on Vanderbilt that allowed him to come out of the game with his 4th foul. That's when Devin Booker really got the cooking, because now you had a Dennis Schroeder on him. And while Dennis Schroeder does play magnificent defense and gives you full court pressure and is a ball hawk, at the end of the day, he doesn't have the size to deal with the likes of a Devin Booker, because Devin Booker can just pull up over him and shoot. And man, D-Book was looking good last night on that mid-range shot. And speaking of which, we know the Suns coach last night cried after the game, only took one sentence and then said, only took one question from the press and then walked off mad about fouls. But it wasn't bogus fouls. It was contact on, I would say, 90% of these fouls. All of them not going to be right or wrong. But you a mid-range shooting team. Who did you have that was getting to the rack, who was forcing the issue with the referees on your squad? D-Book kept pulling up for 15-footers, 15-footers, 15-footers. KD, that's what he pulled up for. Who was going to the rack? See, Schroeder putting pressure on the defense by constantly going to the rack. Austin Reeves putting pressure on defense by constantly pivoting in the lane, switching, changing directions, and he's getting a lot of foul calls, deservedly so. And then you have somebody like a LeBron James, who even AD joked around the other day in the presser saying that him and LeBron used to joke and say, man, why can't we get the same calls as a hillbilly Kobe? But like I said, the whole starting lineup was positive. Even Troy Brown, who didn't get a whole lot of minutes, he had 6.6 rebounds, a couple assists. He was a plus 11. Anthony Davis, a plus 15. He didn't shoot any threes, like I said, which I think is a good thing. But then if you look at Beasley, he played exactly what he needed to play, 17, 18 minutes. He was 2 from 5 from the floor for 3, made a couple of good threes, and that's exactly where he needs to be on that bench. Somebody could come in and give you that spark. And D-Ham said after the game he accepted this role and wasn't really messed up about it. He was a -8 on the floor, if you notice. But Dennis Schroeder, who gave good minutes again last night, hit a big-time 3 in the 4th quarter. Dennis Schroeder, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Like I said, he was a +4. So for the majority of the time, all the Lakers were a plus. But like I said before, the Lakers need to learn how to finish quarters. And then there was one bad call that I failed to mention too, where Wayne and Gabriel got a nice block, and then they said it was a goaltend. And I hate that you don't review that automatically. I think that's something that needs to be reviewed during breaks, because especially if you call a goaltend, that's something that you should be able to look back at because it's a stoppage of play. You don't have to stop and do it now. You can play on, but if it's under 2 minutes and you want to stop, but then you could adjust that score just like you do during the course of a game if you think something is a 3 and something is a 2. I think that's something that needs to be implemented, and I'm going to have a talk with the commissioner about that in the offseason. You understand me? But at the end of the day, man, the Lakers keep on pushing. The Jazz took an L on yesterday. I'm going to tell y'all something else. I watched the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Hawks game, and the Hawks was trying to get revenge because they had lost by 25 or 30 points the other day at their home. So now they was in the Twin Cities trying to get a vengeance for that loss. And, of course, they were winning by 7 or 8 with 5 minutes left in the fourth. And when you know it, man, the Wolves went on a little bit of a run. It was back and forth, back and forth. They was exchanging the lead in the final minute of that game. To me, it was a terrible call at the end of the game. If you can try to find it, go look it up. Karl Anthony Towns was going to the paint. He got tripped up. He slipped and fell. But before that, he pushed off. And it should have been an offensive foul, but it wasn't. And they gave him 2 free throws from the game. And then at the end of the game, it was 3 seconds left. The Hawks did challenge. They lost the challenge. They ended up getting off a 3. And I can't remember the Hawks player that got the rebound, but he was trying to tip it in and clearly got pushed to the ground. And it was a no call by the refs, of course. So at the end of the day, the Timberwolves are where they are right now. If the Lakers had not gave up that Dallas game the other night, then they would be sole possession of the 7th seed right now. But they're in 10th. So tonight, we need to hope for the Utah Jazz to fall. The Utah Jazz, I think tonight, or maybe that's tomorrow, they're taking on Milwaukee. Tonight is OKC against the Clippers, and we all know Paul George is out. Terrence Mann got ejected the other night, and the OKC barely won, so it's going to be on Kawhi Leonard. I don't want to say I'm a Clippers fan right now. If either one of them lose, that's good, but I would like to see OKC go ahead and take this L, and then if they take this L, then guess what? The Lakers going to give them that L on Friday night, then the Lakers can move up to that 7th spot. You understand me? Because Minnesota got a long way to go, too, because they got to go against Boston and in Boston, too, I think, and a couple of more tough stretches. If we look at, I believe, tomorrow, see if I had it pulled up. I know tomorrow night, you got Phoenix against Sacramento. Phoenix might take an L. They might start to fall without KD. Who knows? Golden State got Philly at Golden State. I think Embiid was injured. He kind of got nicked up, so I don't know if he'll be playing. So that'll be helpful for Golden State. But Milwaukee will be at Utah, hoping that Milwaukee can pull it off so the Lakers can get some help in the standings. But the Lakers still in control of their own destiny because all the teams that they have to play down the stretch, Utah twice, they can eliminate them on out of there. They got OKC. They can win the tiebreaker with that. And if they go ahead and win the rest of the games, they'll be good to go. Like I said, LeBron James is getting evaluated as we speak. Hopefully we'll hear some good news on that soon enough. But, if you haven't done so already, you know what to do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share. And as always, I'm going to be here after every Lakers game to give you the full, complete breakdown. And, of course, any breaking news. So this has been your boy, B New. I just want to say right on to the real and much love to these haters. I'm out.